Power up the mic, now it's time to play. Where the pride, our meets, where the gamers stay. From the field, screen, we breaking the line. It's the gamer sideline, where legends align. Light Max loading plays like he's drawing the plan. Kinetic bringing fire like he's leading the band. No matter the game, no matter the sport, we running this pod like it's fourth and short. Press start, locked in. It's game time again. You tune in live to the Sideline Show with Kinetic and Light Max. Let's go. The gamer sideline starts now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Gamers Sideline, where sports beat the sticks and stories get pixel deep. I'm your host, Mike, aka Lichmax, and over here we have
Kinetic.
And down here we have our special guest of the evening. Welcome to the Maniac himself. Sorry.
Maniac. What's going on, gentlemen?
I meant to steal his thunder there. All right. Today we're doing an interview with the co-host of Maize Out Mondays. We asked him, I think it was last week it was right before last weekend to come on, and we got him on. So tell us a little bit about yourself there, Maniac.
Yeah, man. So, for those that don't know, I'm born and raised in the Bronx. I'm Puerto Rican. No, you don't really see a lot of us into these college football things. Grew up, relatively rough neighborhood, but it was family oriented at the same time. New York City, just like many major cities, there's a lot of violence. There's, a lot of things going on. And one of the things that you do as a kid or even as a teenager to stay out of trouble was play sports and watch sports. So that was a getaway for a lot of us growing up. Unfortunately, I have friends that, weren't fortunate enough. But, I was an athlete growing up. I loved playing sports. Football was my favorite sport. I played a lot of basketball. Baseball was the only sport that I would say I wasn't good in, but I still played it nonetheless, and we had fun, man.
And playing those sports, is that kind of what turned you on to like the like college football and like NFL football and like the more pro sports as you were participating in them, and kind of started watching them too?
Yeah, so what's funny is that you had, another thing about New York City, man, you got to have rough skin, right? Thick skin, excuse me, because, everyone is always joking around and everybody, there's no filter. People going to let you have it. They're going to joke on you, whether it's your clothes, whether it's how you look, your haircut, whatever. So sports was the same thing. If your team wasn't good, they're going to joke on your team. And I remember I grew up around a lot of Notre Dame fans, believe it or not, right? And of course, me, my family, we couldn't afford cable, so we had the regular channels, channel 2 to 11. Notre Dame always been an independent team, so NBC is where they will always play. So I watched them all the time. And Michigan was, always on channel 7, but again, also my neighborhood, they were into playing football all the time. So while you playing football, you hear these guys talk about certain players and you're like, who is he talking about? Oh, he plays for this school. He plays for that school. Then you'll go home and Saturday comes and you'll watch this guy, this player they spoke about and be like, oh man, he's good. So yeah, it was a mix of both, man, how I got involved playing, in the streets and, everyone talking about it.
Who were some of the, with that being how you kind of got into sports, grew up watching it, who were some of the first players in any sport that really caught your attention, that just kind of wowed you, that drew you in? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, it was like Allen Iverson. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? So who was that for you?
So yeah, all right. So I was a big sports fanatic, right? All across the board. But if we're talking it's hard because like Kirby Puckett caught my eye, right? He played for the Minnesota Twins. I just love this game. I love the way he carried himself. And, you know, I'm around all Yankee fans. Mind you, I live in the Bronx, right? So that's the home of the Yankees. I live 10-minute drive from Yankee Stadium. So everybody's a Yankee fan or a Met fan. They looking at me like I'm like, what's wrong with you? But Minnesota was good at that time as well in the early 90s. So the jokes weren't really on me. The Yankees weren't good. But anyway, Kirby Puckett. As far as Michigan, I remember vividly watching Notre Dame. They would talk about Notre Dame versus Michigan. And this was the game, guys, that Desmond Howard caught the catch. On the 4th and 1, Elvis Gerback. And I said, I always wanted to be a wide receiver in football, right? Desmond Howard. I'm like, oh, man, he really wowed me. I said, this guy is that guy. And then, of course, the colors. It was something about the uniform of Michigan that just drew me in. And I like Desmond Howard. And I said, yo, I like this team. This is my team, you know, and that was the game that made me a Michigan fan. And then, you know, after that, I'm like, yo, Desmond Howard, you know, the older guys and some kids a little older. Yeah, man, Desmond Howard, yo, that guy's the truth, man. I'm like, oh, man, I like him. I'm going to be like Desmond Howard, you know, and, and you know, we all as kids, man, we always, you know, fantasize about being an athlete when we playing. But yeah, man, Desmond Howard was the guy that for Michigan that drew me in, and that was that, man.
Yeah, I know for me, like what drew me into sports, other than like my dad having me watch the Steelers play, like watching the Steelers play, like Troy Polamalu really like it got me excited for the game, seeing him all just running all over the field.
It was the hair. Just in
yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the hair. It was the fact that all you saw was the hair when he's streaking across the field. You just see black and yellow and hair as he's going from one side to the other, just taking up the whole field, but by being one guy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna, you know, give you guys something I haven't said on any of the shows, on any episode, right? Okay. About a certain color. My favorite color, and I know people are going to be like, what? My favorite color is red. That's my favorite color, right? And who is Michigan's biggest rival, right? Even though, you know, they call it scarlet, right? But it's fucking red. Oh, excuse my language.
That's just a pathetic way of trying to differentiate themselves from the other 92 schools that wear red.
Correct. You know, and that's my favorite color. My closet has so much red that you'd be like, man, you sure you're not a Buckeye fan? Absolutely not. But,
I mean, maybe you're an undercover Buckeye fan and we just don't know it.
No. That might be juju. That might be juju. But me is that, you know what else? My NFL team, Bang Bang Niner Gang. And they also red. But I always liked red as a little kid since before I was watching sports. That was my favorite color. But again, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana had got injured. So it was really, for me, Steve Young, Jerry Rice. And again, you know, wide receiver. Jerry Rice considered a GOAT at that time. Yeah, Jerry Rice. I'm like, I want to be a wide receiver. And I said, yo, I like this. And of course, they got my team colors too. I said, oh, this is my NFL team right here. So that was another reason why. Yeah, but nobody needs to know that red is my favorite color, by the way.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick, because like I was aware of sports and stuff in the 90s when I was a kid, but I wasn't really paying attention to them, you know. Like I was aware of some of the players. So like I don't remember I remember the tail end of Jerry Rice's career because he played like into the early 2000s, I think.
Correct.
But like so like, you know, I remember watching Randy Moss's career, and you know, he's looked at as one of the great wide receivers, right? But I don't feel like he started to be recognized as a great wide receiver until like after the Patriots run, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he was always good, but in that stratosphere. When did Jerry Rice when did you guys start to realize like this guy's like the greatest of all time? And I ask this because like this conversation comes up a lot in Vikings chats because of Justin Jefferson. So like, when did you start to feel that, like, to recognize it?
So when I became a Niners fan, right, about same year, 91, 92, it was already being hinted. Remember, Jerry Rice was drafted in the 80s, right?
Right.
So he put in so much work in the 80s that once we entered the 90s, he was already the premier wide receiver in the NFL. And there was a lot of chat of he's gonna be the way he plays, and if he keeps on, he will be the greatest wide receiver of all time. And he was just in the 90s, man. This guy was amazing. And he was a finesse receiver, right?
Right.
Jerry Rice was a wide receiver that could beat you deep. He could beat you on the slant. He outworks you, right? He outwork receivers. Not a physical Michael Irvin that,
Right.
push out the way. And what also made Jerry Rice so special was that he could take a 5-yard slant and take it 80 yards to the house, right? And we didn't see much of that in the 90s from those receivers. Jerry Rice was just in another, category, man, regarding that. And of course, he played with Joe Montana, which many at one point was considered the greatest of all time.
Right.
Tom Brady, I think it's fair. Even though I'm a 49er fan, it has nothing to do with Brady being a Michigan alum. I just think that if you look at Brady's body of work and what he has done, and in the advanced age of football, like this is the most advanced we've been in, and Brady to have that success, bro, it's hard. Again, to each his own, but to me, Brady is the GOAT of all time. But I put Joe Montana right there. So go ahead.
So like Justin Jefferson has Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. That's in that conversation of top wide receiver. Randy Moss had like Terrell Owens and Larry Fitzgerald in his era. Who were the ones that sort of challenged, that were in that conversation before Jerry Rice kind of took the greatest receiver of all time or of that era? Who were his, like, I know you mentioned Michael Irvin, but were there a lot of guys challenging him, or was it always like a clear separation of Jerry Rice and everyone else down here?
Yeah, it was Jerry Rice. So you had Michael Irvin, you had Herman Moore from the Detroit Lions. He almost won a receiving. I think he won the most catches from a receiver one year. Herman Moore. Also on that team, you had Brett Perriman. Then you had, again, Irvin. You had Jerry Rice. I'm trying to see, man. You had Sterling Sharp.
Yep,
Sterling Sharp was really starting to be, enter those chats, but unfortunately, an injury derailed his career early, man, and he had to retire early. Sterling Sharp. I'm trying to see, man, in those 90s, them teams. You had good receivers, not many elite the way it was, because just like any sport, it evolves, man, and these guys just get more athletic. Like Randy Moss was like, he's the one that made that turn. Like, bro, who is this guy? We've never seen nothing like this.
He was the Allen Iverson of the NFL.
Correct. That's a good way to put it. And once we seen Randy Moss, man, I remember his rookie season, 1998, vividly. He could have been drafted by so many schools, but he was passed up because of his past, right?
Yeah.
And
because he went to Marshall.
He went to Marshall. Plus, what happened was, so the backstory is this: he committed. He was going to go to Notre Dame. Lou Holtz. He was going to play for Notre Dame. He did something. They said, nah, we're going to pull your scholarship. Florida State. He was going to be with Peter Warwick, Lavernius Cole. Oh my goodness!
Whoa. Could you imagine how? Oh my God,
bro! But he got in trouble again. Bobby Bowden kicked him off. So now all these schools are like, So Marshall took a chance on him, and I guess he figured, listen, man, this is my last chance to really make something of myself. And we seen what he did with that. He had Chad Pennington, who ended up having a decent NFL career as well with the Jets. And once Randy got focused, man, you just seen that he's probably the most athletic wide receiver I've seen in the NFL. That's me, my opinion.
So if you had to pick one player of all time to be your favorite player, who would you pick?
Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard.
I gotta, because he brings, Jerry Rice is right behind him because again, I've always wanted to be a wide receiver. Like when I played football, that was me.
Right.
But Desmond Howard, man, it was just something. It was like a connection with him. I saw, when you seen a girl in school and it was just like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. I'm in love with her. So Desmond Howard was like, oh shit. Every time I'm outside, you mimic his moves and you try to be like that. I mean, I was nowhere near athletic as he was, but I try to mimic everything he did, man. But it was Desmond Howard is my number one football player of all time, hands down.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
If you have another football, you can go first.
No, I was going to transition to something else. So go.
Okay, I was going to transition into how you got into following the fights, boxing and MMA.
Oh, boxing, man. Yeah. So boxing, as you know, again, I'm my ethnicity. I'm a Puerto Rican. We have a very, very, very rich history in boxing, right? But I was never a big fan of boxing, right? I used to be a casual. I will only watch when there was a big fight. That's it, right? Oh, that was around Felix Trinidad. If y'all never seen him fight, there's plenty of his fights on YouTube. And man, I remember my friends talk, you haven't seen Trinidad fight? I said, who the f is Trinidad? Bro, he's Puerto Rican. And okay, let me check this guy out. Man, the guy was vicious. He had a vicious left hook. So he lost in 2001. He lost to Bernard Hopkins, who's considered one of the greatest middleweights of all time. A middleweight is someone who fights at 160 pounds. Bernard Hopkins had over 20 straight successful defenses. That means he was a champion, and he defended his belt 20 plus times successfully. That's just ridiculous. You don't see that no more. And Trinidad was just moving up weight classes. He was knocking out the champion. Like, this guy had a great run. And during 9/11, they was going to fight that week, but they postponed it for like another week or two. And Bernard Hopkins, he in Madison Square Garden, New York City, he put a ass whooping on Trinidad. You want to talk about a bad day for Puerto Ricans? And that was that night, man, where Hopkins whooped his ass. And the reason I say after that night I became a hardcore fan was because I didn't know much about Hopkins. I just assumed he was going to be another victim. And the way he, yeah, man, that's Trinidad. On one of his fights. The way he picked apart Trinidad wasn't normal, man. It was just a lot of IQ and skill involved. And so then on, man, from 2001, I said, man, I'm gonna be more into boxing. I want to be a hardcore. So that's when it started for me in 2001. After that loss,
2001.
So how? Okay, with boxing. I've never followed it super close, but I've always tuned in for the big fights. I've always kind of been aware of it. What are your thoughts on boxing from when you first got into it to where it is now, and how things have kind of changed? I know the emergence of UFC and MMA kind of changed a lot for the boxing game and how it's governed and everything. But like, how do you compare it from when you first started following it to now? And then also, what's your favorite weight class and why?
Yeah, man. So, actually that's a very good question because boxing has changed, man, since 2001 to this era, right? So when I watch boxing, Kinetic and Lynch Max, that era, man, it was more pride, right? It was about being great. It was about taking risks. It was about challenging yourself, right? As the years went on, you had dudes like Mayweather, who, don't get me wrong, is a great fighter, but it became more about money. Everything was money, 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 money. Now I get it. Get your money. But that wasn't boxing. You're going to get paid, bro. You're going to get paid, but right now, no one wants to take risk. They want the highest pay for the lowest risk minimum. And it sucks because today boxing doesn't lack star power or great fighters. It just lacks the matchmaking. A lot of these guys are not fighting each other, right? They just fighting on Twitter.
They want to build up their rep and their height to be able to get the big payday before they fight someone else on their level.
I do actually want to ask Maniac about this. How do you feel about I think it's Jake Paul?
Yes.
In boxing?
Yeah. So I'm gonna just finish Kinetic's question, then I got you, Lynch. So my favorite weight class is 147 pounds, which is called the welterweight division. That's where you have Pacquiao, Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Trinidad fought there, Oscar De La Hoya fought there. You had Terrence Bud Crawford fought there. I mean, Errol Spence, you talk about history, Sugar Ray Leonard fought there. Tommy Hearns fought there. I mean, it's just a rich history of fighters in that division. And it just seems like it's something about that weight class, man, that it just seems perfect, for me. Now, we know the most popular division in boxing is heavyweight, by name. That's not up for debate. But, the heavyweight division, that's another story. But welterweight for me, 147. And as far as MMA, I'm not a fan of MMA, but I respect it, right? And MMA through the years have been sturging, number-wise, their following is enormous, and I respect it. I mean, I'm a boxing fan. I'm not really a fan of the hugging and the humping each other and, the stuff like that when they on the floor. But nonetheless, very talented guys.
It's kind of like you're a fan of the fight game, and that's a different flavor. It's still a fight game, but it's not your preferred flavor.
There you go. Right on the nose, man. Right on the nose. Kinetic and Lynch, to answer your question, Jake Paul. So Jake Paul is a two-sided coin with Jake Paul. He's a fighter / promoter. As a promoter, he is an amazing promoter. He's given a lot of people opportunity, man, to shine. In fact, Amanda Serrano, she's a female, seven division champion, Puerto Rican, by the way. He got her first $1 million purse under Jake Paul. In fact, Jake Paul is bringing women's boxing now to the forefront, and there's a lot of talented female boxers, man. But regardless, he also got a lot of male boxers that's on the come up. So as a promoter, I respect him so much. He's a great businessman. He's so intelligent, man. The guy knows how to make money. Now, as a fighter, that's a different story, because he'll fight a professional fighter, a lower tier professional fighter, beat him up, then he'll go fight a retire MMA fighter, and then he'll fight a celebrity. Now he's gonna fight Tank Davis. Now, Tank Davis and him is an exhibition. So what an exhibition is not a sanctioned fight. No one wins. It's just going to be whatever, how many rounds they agree to. I don't know if it's going to be 6 or 8. And it's just going to be pity-pat until the final bell. We get paid. We move on. Bro, Jake Paul is over 200 pounds. Tank is like a chihuahua fighting a pit bull.
Okay, I was going to ask, is it unsanctioned because they couldn't get it sanctioned because of weight classes or something like that, or did they just choose not to do it?
One, they wouldn't not got that fight sanctioned because of, bro, is it dangerous? It's just too dangerous. And so it's more of like I did a video on it, and I said, picture just boxing on Broadway, right? If you ever been to a show, and is a scripted, you go to show is scripted, and it's like, oh, this is what this fight is gonna be. They should have just took this to Broadway right here, 42nd Street, New York City, and just put Jake Paul and Tank on Broadway.
Well, it's like
I mean, they probably could have done it at like a WWE ring instead of in a boxing ring.
So I was going to bring up something like that. I think that this might have been, I don't remember the exactly when they did it, but I'm pretty sure it was probably a little bit before. Yeah, so it was before you really got into boxing, but I'm sure you're aware of it. It's like that exhibition they did way back in the day with Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki, where it was a fight, but they had all these weird rules about you can do this, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was really weird. Like they had to come together and like negotiate the weird rules.
Yeah.
And then they put it on for show. It was for show, but it was also a fight. Like
it was kind of like the Paul Tyson fight.
Because Antonio Inoki, for those that don't know, was a pro wrestler, but he was also kind of one of the early MMA guys. So like, and that was the big crossover, boxer versus like a martial artist, right?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, I remember that. And
but
go ahead.
No, go ahead, because I was going to ask you a follow up to something.
No, just real quick. In fact, wrestling was the first sport I fell in love with was wrestling, and then football said, I just cheated on wrestling with football, and I never looked back. But I always respect wrestling. I come from the Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Big John Studd, the British Bulldogs, that era.
For me, what got me into it. So, if you remember before they went on their own, they were the Rockers, the Midnight Rockers,
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
Them and the Legion of Doom and Sting. Those were the Road Warriors. Those were my. The Steiner brothers, those were my as a kid.
The Steiner brothers, man, Michigan, baby, Michigan,
right?
I got my start.
Did you pop the first time? Did you pop the first time on WWF television when you saw him come out wearing the Michigan varsity jackets?
Yeah, you know why? I wasn't even a Michigan fan yet. I wasn't watching football yet. You know what I'm saying? So that went over my head. Shit. And now when I look back, I said, oh shit, that was me. See, I was destined to be a Michigan fan, man. It was right in my face.
But one of the so I had two the really quick questions. You don't have to spend a lot of time on them, but just follow up to some things that you said in your previous answer. So we know what really went down, but if they had fought in their prime, do you think Pacquiao would have beat Mayweather? If they both fought at their prime peak?
Man, that's that's another goodie, man. That's another good question. It's hard, man, because Pacquiao had lost a step. He had lost a bounce at the time when
that first fight. He had an injured shoulder too, and didn't tell anyone until after.
Yeah, but before, years prior to that, they agreed it was 50-50. The problem was Pacquiao didn't want to get drug tested, which hence raised a lot of eyebrows. Like, wait a minute. Maybe that's why he's just keep going up in weight classes and knocking people out. No, it was the VADA testing. I thought
it was that he didn't want to be tested like the day before because it did something with his like pre-game hydration or something.
Yeah, and it does. The thing with VADA is that they can test you as many times as they want once you sign up. So if me and you gonna fight Kinetic, they could test me 72 times and they just test you 10.
And they can show up anywhere, and you got anywhere. You have like 12 hours to report when they tell you they're coming.
Correct. You ready in your bedroom, ready.
Is it USADA or is it a different a different body that does that? USADA?
Both VADA, it depends. They could use USADA or they could use VADA. VADA is the Olympic drug testing. And that's why they considered it one of the most strict testings there is when it comes to testing athletes. So
But give me your opinion though, because I remember, man, I was fully on the Pacquiao train.
Yeah,
he was so much fun to watch.
Hey, absolutely, without a doubt. I'll tell you this: I think it would have been a way more competitive fight than the one that we actually had. It's hard to, as I would have been rooting for Pacquiao. I was never a fan of Mayweather, but I respect him as a fighter. I think Mayweather was such a defensive genius, man. And the guy is so intelligent, man. That's something that gets overlooked. I know he's not the most exciting fighter, but he's a sniper in there. He's a sharpshooter, and he's constantly thinking, and he offsets you, man. He's so good at a counter puncher, right? Where he waits for you to throw a punch, and he's gonna get you. And he had the Philly shell. So he perfected that Philly shell where, bro, it was almost impossible to crack it. But with that being said, man, I'm gonna say Pacquiao got it done.
The other follow-up question, I just want to know your opinion on fighters that try to cross over from boxing, kickboxing, MMA. How do you feel about that? Do you feel they should just like sort of stick to their sport, or do you like encourage it? But like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, so me personally, I encourage it. Some of them, you know, I would rather these guys in their prime to do it, because it's like, okay, opposed to later in their career,
right.
And it's like I'm looking for a payday more so than anything. But listen, a combat fighter is a combat fighter, right? You know, if he's willing to get in the ring and fight a professional fighter, I'm all for that, man. I respect it because, again, like I said, I might not be a fan of MMA, but I am a fan of combat sports and guys going in that ring and risking it. Like, these guys come out severely injured in some of these fights. So you got to respect that. But I'm all for it. You want to cross over? Do it.
I always thought they should do something like how the big time schools in college football will do home and home. Like, agree to a 2-fight contract over the course of 18 months or whatever. Do one boxing, do one MMA. You each go into the other's lair, into their home turf, and see what happens.
That's it. I mean, I'm for that, man. That is something different.
Because the reason I say that is because one of the reasons you never saw them do it in their prime was that they were like, well, I don't want to go over to the other sport and get embarrassed and it hurt my what's the word?
Pride.
Pride, but like their brand, their ego. You know what I'm saying?
Image,
and so it's like
image,
right? Their image. Don't want to hurt their image. So it's like, well, if you agree to a home and home, so to speak, you each get to fight in your element. So like, if you go over to MMA as a boxer and you lose, there's nothing to be ashamed of because you went into his house. Now he's going to come over to your house. You know what I'm saying?
You should actually.
So I felt like if they did that, it would sort of promote the idea of, hey, let's get two guys in their primes and do this because they're both on even level that way.
You should actually tag Dana White on Twitter or on X and actually mention that to him. I don't know who's the head of boxing right now, but
he has a boxing one. So just make sure you get the credit for it, Connecticut.
Yeah. So throw that on X, tag Dana White, and put that in as a suggestion.
Yeah, Lichmax and I have a friend that's an MMA fighter, and I used to talk to him about it all the time. And he was on board with it. He was like, "Yeah, I'd do it." He was never top level fighter, but like he had over 200 pro fights.
No, that's a lot.
Yeah, I know. You know how a lot of fighters will take like 2 or 3 fights a year. I watched this dude take 26 fights one year. He didn't care. He would do the local fights, and then he would do the big time, go over to Japan and fight the big name guy. Like, he would take whatever fight he could. He was just like, I want to fight.
He's currently waiting for his phone call from Jake Paul right now, though.
Interesting nugget. So if you ever want to look him up, Maniac, his name is Jonathan Ivey. He was an MMA guy, but
Ivey, all right.
His nickname was the Leg Lock Monster, and interesting gem of a thing. You should ask him about this sometime, Lich. He was actually in talks to be the next opponent at Bellator for Kimbo Slice before Kimbo unexpectedly had that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. That sucks, man.
Yep. But so with the boxing, if I understand right, you got into the podcasting with boxing before you did with football and other sports. So how did that happen? How did that get started?
So boxing, man. So I was on Twitter, right? I I joined Twitter at one time, 2011-ish. 11-ish, 2000. My son was born already. I think it was like 2011. I went to Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather press conference in the Apollo in Harlem. I went there. I had these Puerto Rican boxing gloves. And I'm there. I got the Puerto Rican hat. And I'm there. You know, everybody's like, oh, yo, so okay, man. Yeah. And you know, that was just me. I was always like that. And there was other guys there that had like, you know, they don't like a lot. I didn't really know about Twitter. I didn't really know about social media like that. I've heard of it, but I didn't care for it. So there was this guy I remember. He was like, yo, here. He had a camcorder. As a matter of fact, I gotta find it and show it to y'all. I have the YouTube video. And I'm like, Boricua, he's gonna hit him with rice, beans. I mean, you know, I was just going in and it kind of had everybody like, yo, oh my God. So I go inside, I'm hyped. Now I took my jacket off. I'm talking shit. And this dude, his name is Steve, but his Twitter handle was #2 Snake. He was like Argentinian from Queens. He was like, yo, bro, you got Twitter? I said, nah. I said, I don't got you. Yo, bro, get on Twitter, man. I like your energy. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Again, sorry. I go home that day. I download the app. I get everything. I'm like, oh, say Twitter. And I'm like, okay, this thing is kind of cool. And little by little, I started getting connected with other people. You know how Twitter is. Yeah. For some reason, it just connects you with people. And now I'm talking boxing. I'm like, oh, you could talk shit on this? Oh, I like that. Blah, 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 you know, going in. And then, you know, it just took off. And then this dude named Nesta Gibbs. He has the Boxing Voice, which is one of the biggest boxing shows now on YouTube. The guy got like almost like 300,000 subscribers. He's interviewed like everybody. He's my, like, we're not as cool as we used to be because it's just certain way, the way he operate, but we were cool. Like that was my man. And, you know, we used to hang out and talk on the phone all the time. And he used to record me at fights, and you know, little by little, I had a buzz on Twitter. Like, yo, who that dude, man? The Maniac. You know, I used to go as the Boogie Down Sean, right? But I used to every morning tweet at all the boxing fans, and I'll call them boxing maniacs. And they're like, nah, man, you're the maniac. And I said, you know what? I'm going to keep that. I'm going to be the maniac. Yeah. I like, you know, it fits my style the way I am. So, you know, that's how I started, man. And then, of course, being on there boxing, guess what? Because I'm watching Michigan games. Now, little by little, I'm getting connected with Michigan fans. And this is where, I know I'm kind of like going off a little bit.
You're good, man.
But this is where my hate for Ohio State elevated by 1,000, because as you know, 2011 we beat them. So I had Twitter for about 3 years before they blocked me. Then I tried to get on. Then I had another account. They blocked me. But the Ohio State fans was so disrespectful. I mean, like, they wouldn't let their foot off. Like, they just talk shit about Michigan. They dragged us through the mud. And there was really not much we could say to them because we weren't doing much besides that 2011. And it was just getting worse and worse. And it's like, oh, man. Then we finally get Jim Harbaugh. Okay. And his first season, they laughed at us because you saw what happened. They blew us out. And, bro, it was just bad. And it's like, yo, all these guys are disrespectful. Hence why today I am the way I am with them. No mercy, bro. No respect. I hate them with every ounce in my body.
So, so we've gone through the like how you. So, after you were became the boxing maniac on Twitter, got banned from Twitter because of Ohio State. Was it that point that you then transitioned over to Instagram and made the boxing maniac there?
Yeah, so yeah, I said, yeah, let me go on Instagram, right? Like, to be clear, regardless, right? Football's my first love. Football's my first love. The other reason why, once I got the social media and I see everybody that's doing their thing, boxing, the difference is boxing is all year round, right? Football seasonal. So it's easier. It was easier to just stick with the boxing because I'll be able to do, talk boxing all year round. Now, as far as the podcasting for boxing, I've never thought of that. I used to just call in shows. I just wanted to call in and talk my bro, he's a bum. I told you he ain't shit. Blue, black, bing, bing, bang. Oh my God. And then on Twitter, people be like, yo, Maniac, I heard you last night on Kinetic Show, bro. You went crazy. Why? Yeah, that's how I do. And then it wasn't until about a couple of years ago, I got with my man. He has the Four Corners Boxing. I'm like, yo, bro, let's start cooking, bro. Cause now I'm more relaxed. I'm not as wild as I used to be. I want to go more in depth with the boxing. So now with Four Corners Boxing, that's what we're doing. Right now, we're just looking to see how we're going to move forward with the podcast. And we had a studio we used to go to, but we didn't like the setup. There was just a lot of technical issues, and we were renting it. And I'm like, I'm not going to invest money into something that I don't feel comfortable at. So right now, we just been doing it virtual, but we haven't been doing that neither. But right now, yeah, I'm with Four Corners Boxing. That's by my brother Fight Night X, and also my barber. We also have a channel, the Boxing Round Table, with the Dominican Dream. So right now, those are the two things. I've been invited to do other podcasts, but I just don't got time to be all over. So I'm just staying loyal to the people that's closest to me.
So, Eric, Kinetic, do you have a follow-up?
No, I was actually trying to pull it up so I could show it on the screen. Make sure we got the right one here.
Let me see.
Is that it right there at the top?
Four Corners, not that one. Put the number 4. The number 4.
Gotcha.
And then Four Corners Boxing. And then let me see. No, it's not. Let me see. Right there. That 4. You see that?
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one. That's the one. And I think you'll see one. Me and the last episode, I think me and X, we went to a spot, man, and we did our thing there. But yeah, that's
the other one.
The Boxing Round Table. TH. Is it T? Yeah, the box. Let me see. See, yeah, that's right there. You see me there with the blue. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it.
Right, cool.
So those are the two right now that I'm dealing with.
That's awesome. So you grew up boxing and football. You played wide receiver. Did you ever try your hand in the ring?
No. So that's funny, right? Because I've never. What we used to do, right? Again, one thing about growing up where I grew up, you had to have a certain toughness to be outside, right? Because you're going to fight. And one thing the older guys love seeing is putting the younger kids to fight. So that's where, you like, yo, that's Kinetic. Yo, Kinetic, come over here. Yeah, what's up? Yo, you going to fight Lynch Max. And you're like, oh, man. Like, I don't want to fight. You're going to fight him. And it was like, all right. And they'll put gloves on us, but that was the closest. I've never like went in the ring and sparred. My father actually, now that I say it, my father did fight amateur. he's my father's like into boxing heavy, and he fought as an amateur, but he never went pro, man, because at one point the streets did get the best of him. So that kind of set him back, and he never got back into it, but his love for the sport never changed.
So then what
Just plus sign right
in what you did do, what is your unofficial record?
where in the streets?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, come on, man. I'm 100 knockouts, man. Come on. Shit. I had a couple of losses. Man, I remember, right? I'll tell you, when I was fighting this fat kid, right? I was skinny. I'm like, hey, I'm just there. And I remember I hit him. Man! Like, that was like giving him a Snicker bar. That shit was nothing. Bro, he hit me. I remember I fell on him. I started crying. Bro, I started crying. I remember it was so funny. Like when I think about it.
Was that the first time that you realized why there were weight classes?
Yeah. It was like, yo, but again, these the older guys making us younger kids fight, And it was funny, man. I remember that so vividly. But I didn't like. That was the worst loss I had. I remember, but I was as a young kid. We talking about 11 years old. As a teenager and over that, all the fights I had, man, like real fights, like I was good, some tough fights, but like not where I was like, damn, this dude, he let me have it. Like, nah.
I'm currently sitting at 4-1.
Okay. Lynch, let me ask you, how tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Oh, okay. So you're not all right. So
he Blake Corum height.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I got that Blake Corum build going.
Yeah, you look like now you look taller than that. You look like you're about 6 feet. If I had to guess. Yeah.
5'8".
Yeah, so I'm not much. I'm about like 5'10". Like 5'10". I'm like 2 inches taller than you, so that's not much. Kinetic, how tall are you? We're around the same height.
Close enough. So it's a little bit of a touchy subject to me because like my whole life I was told I was 6 foot. And then when I got to high school ball, they get that real like precise measurement. And they're like, you're 5'11 and 3/4. I'm like, you can't just give me that last quarter of an inch. Like, come on now. So like I say 6 foot, but like I guess officially I'm 5'11 because they don't count anything in between.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So getting into the podcasting and being a huge fan of football and other sports, we've heard the story from Maize's point of view. How did you and Maize come into contact with one another?
Yeah, so with Maize, it's funny. Just social media on Instagram. I think again his thing came across my feed, and I was like, I look. I'm like, oh shit, a Michigan channel. Let me see. And I'm like, oh man, I like this guy's style. Like, okay, this is cool. And we were like, I will message him, and I'm like, yo, because on Instagram I couldn't find a lot of Michigan fans. Right, like I didn't, and the ones that I did follow, they weren't really into talking. So I wanted to talk to somebody about Michigan football. So I messaged him, and he messaged me back, and it was just normal. It was just regular talk football, short and simple. And then I started going on the channel and watching his videos, and I liked them. And then I noticed he'll go live. I'm like, oh, bro, one of these days I'm gonna go there. That is funny. Not that I really want to mention him, but I remember one of the first times I went live, Garrison was there. Right? That's when I thought he was cool. Right? But anyway, it was there. I just got on. I went crazy. I remember I went crazy. And I remember the chat was like, yo, I like this guy. Yeah, F Ohio State. Because I was like, I just went on the tirade.
Oh, we can swear now. We're 50 minutes in.
Yeah, regarding regarding OSU, but then as time went, I was like, man, I always wanted to do college football, right? I said, hey, man, I noticed he don't have, he's doing it alone. I said, let me ask him. You know, I went ahead and I had asked him. And I remember he didn't answer me for like months, right? So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You know, I don't want to bother nobody. Like, I'm not going to be begging nobody neither, right? And then I think just one time he was like, yo, my fault, man. I just been busy. And, you know, I didn't take no offense. I'm like, all right, cool, man. He was like, yeah, man, you know, maybe I can have you come on like on Mondays, you know? And I said, yeah. I said, oh, shit, yeah. I said, cool. Like, all right. And then I remember the first Monday, was he sick?
Yeah,
he wasn't feeling well. Yeah, he was like, yo, I'm not feeling well, man. So I'm gonna need you to I'm like, yeah, I was hyped, you know, and it went well, you know. I remember in the beginning though, guys, I would say this. There was some backlash regarding certain people. Because if you notice, man, my style is like a raw and uncut style.
Yeah.
I'm straight to the point. I'm not a shirt and tie guy that's gonna say, well, so Michigan, what they did was they ran the ball so efficiently, and that was no. I'm gonna give it to you. So I think
so. You're not Steve Dace. Got it.
I'm definitely not Steve Dace. But you know, anyway, shout to him anyway. But I said, no, man, I'm gonna be who I am. Either you like me or you don't, and that's how I went, man. And after a while, it just, you know. It just got better and better. And this is, you know, we here today.
So now, what? You got your own solo channel now, right?
Yes.
So what are you doing with that? Like, where are you trying to go with that and take that going into the future?
Yeah. So right now, see, in fact, I'm gonna holler at you guys because see, the one thing about me, I'm not the savviest when it comes to all of this, right? Like you see how you guys be putting up the fire thumbnails and you know all of that. I need all right, Lynch Max. So Lynch Max, you're gonna have to give me a class. I just need to learn how to really put these thumbnails for every video, man. So it looks more enticing. It's gonna draw more people in. You know, that's the point of a thumbnail, right? And they fire. Your joints is fire. So those are things that I need. But I'm just doing videos. Like right now, I'm just trying to build it little by little, right? I just throwing it out there. Look, I'm doing videos. In fact, I'm slipping. I didn't even do my Nebraska preview, but I might just do one in the morning and just put it out there. But yeah, eventually I want to grow it. Just, you know, and I'm going to turn it into, you know, a podcast. I don't know. Right now, it's just, I want to build the channel and I'm just trying to get my subscribers up. You know, I want to get to at least 500. When I get to 500, cool. I'm going to, you know, try to do some lives. And once I hit like 1,000 and I know, okay, I got 1,000 subscribers, you know, hopefully it doesn't take long. It might, who knows? But once I get there, then yeah, I'm gonna start really opening it up more. You know, try to do stuff.
And this is his channel. Everyone who's watching or watching this afterwards, go blue _maniac_24.
Yeah, go subscribe, you punks.
Yeah, head over there and subscribe. He's sitting at 224. He's aiming for 500. So let's try to help him get there with our currently sitting at 21 subscribers. Let's get all of y'all over there if you're not there already.
Yeah, and make sure y'all subscribe to my brothers here too, man. My brothers is doing their thing over here, man. I really like the idea y'all have, you know, with the gaming thing. And I'm a big gamer, by the way. I'm a huge gamer. Don't play with me. I'm a platinum guy, but I'm a platinum guy. I'm a guy that I'm a trophy guy, you know. So once I play a game, look, as a matter of fact, stop playing with me, man. Y'all gonna just.
I mean, I'm sitting here playing a game while we're talking, so.
Yeah, look, boom. Look, once I'm done, I got this. What's this? The Evil Within. Boom. These are games I haven't played. The Jedi.
That's a really good one.
The Survivor. I platinum the first one. This is the second one. Boom. Hogwarts. The Harry Potter.
That one
Still in
was
the
pretty
plastic. I'm gonna platinum that. Kena, Bridge of Spirits. I need one trophy. It's a hard ass game. Great game to play. Dead Space. Still in the plastic. Getting ready for that. Callisto. Still in the plastic. Nothing still. And the Lies of P. This one is a huge
I've heard
one.
that one was really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that one.
So
I got so many, man. I got so many PS3 games. That's another, see me, I don't smoke marijuana. I mean, to each his own, whoever does. I don't. Once upon a time I did. I don't really drink like that. So my drug is actually games, right? When I'm not doing this, when I'm not no podcasting, no interviewing, it's like, okay, let me sit down, let me get on the sticks, let me play a PlayStation.
So with gaming, what would you say your favorite game of all time is?
Man, listen, that is a lot, but God of War. God of War. Dude. Yo, man, you can come on, man. God of War. That's God of War. That's the God, bro. That game, and then it's so violent. Like, damn.
Yeah, and the story behind the whole game is extremely both dark and violent. And it's
I've only ever played one God of War, and I completed it, but I've only ever played one of them, and it was the one with the Norse gods, because I love the Norse gods.
That was the one on the PS5. That was with his son, right? Atreus.
I think it was on PS4 originally.
Yeah, it was God of War, and then there's God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, right. I platinum all of them. So once if I'm
that game tripped me out with him with that little kid the whole time. Just boy.
That's his son. That's his son. Atreus.
Or Loki.
Boy, get over here. Yo, bro, he's such a gangster, bro. Like, look, God of War, man. God of War. I love that. And you know what else comes in behind? Well, I wouldn't say my second favorite, but one of my favorite storylines, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Love it.
I really like the early Assassin's Creed. I don't know. Somewhere along the line, I just got bored with them.
Yeah, Origins Forward, I'm not a huge fan, but everything like from Ezio, like from not even Ezio.
Ezio's part 2. That's from part 2. Revelations, and it was the Ezio collection. There was 3 of them. Yeah, for Ezio. The only one that I didn't like, which was weird, Assassin's Creed 1 on the PlayStation 3 didn't have trophies. But every other Assassin's Creed after that did. So I platinum every one. The only one I haven't platinum is because I haven't got it yet is the last one, the one in Asia. Shadows?
Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah,
I haven't played that one yet.
Yeah, so I haven't, and I'm gonna get that. I gotta get that. I'm gonna get the college football, bro. My wife be so pissed at me. I've dropped 300. I'll go into GameStop. Yo, let me get that. But you got like 10 games, man. I'm like, mind your business. You go shopping online every day. I don't say nothing.
Right. I'm gonna need you to get on the PS5. I'm gonna need you to get the college football, the Madden.
I'm gonna get it. Kinetic. I'm gonna get it, bro. Y'all, listen. Take it easy on me, man. That's what I'm gonna say.
Dude, I suck at the game. I'm bad at the game.
Yeah, I suck at the game. And then he beat me 55-zip at halftime.
That would actually happen too with him.
No, it wouldn't.
See, for me, my favorite video game series is Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
I got started on those on the PlayStation 2, and I've just always been hooked on the story.
I'll give you guys another game. There's phenomenal storyline, gameplay, amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn.
I've heard that one is pretty good.
Yo, my favorite game. So Horizon Zero Dawn, is that? Hold on, that's
robot dinosaurs.
Correct.
Yeah. So, correct. Lichmax, you remember my friend Jeff that you met in Knoxville when we went through there at one time?
Yeah. The one with the
Yeah. So yeah. So he had that game when I went and hung out with him in Knoxville for a week, and that's all we did was play that fucking game for like a week. And you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you like. This was old. I think it was like N64. Remember Turok?
Yes,
I remember.
That's like with a dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that game just reminded me of like of Turok, but with much better graphics.
Bro. Yeah, I loved it. Her name was what's her name on the thing? Oh man, forgot her name, man. But it was, bro. I love that game. Like right when I was about to platinum it, I'm like, damn, bro. I want to keep. I platinum both parts. As soon as those are the games, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. No matter what game I'm playing, if they come up with another part, I stop playing what I'm playing, and that's right into the PlayStation. And that, yeah, I love it, man.
Now, here's a game. Do you guys remember this from the N64? Conqueror's Bad Fur Day.
No. Yes, I didn't at first, but the Bad Fur Day part made me remember it.
What kind of game is that?
It's a pretty crazy one.
It's I don't know how to describe it. I would put it in the same category as, you remember the old like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro Dragon, all those type of games.
I love
Ratchet and Clank, like it was that type.
I love that, bro. I love Ratchet and Clank, bro. I love Ratchet and Clank.
My current favorite game, and in my opinion, one of the greatest games of all time, is Baldur's Gate 3.
Here's the image of the image of the game. Oh wait.
Look at this. Look. This is a Ratchet and Clank game right here. This is the P3.
So like the game that I'm messing around with here absently as we're doing this is Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's the greatest game ever made.
Okay.
It's a PC game, but they did make it for PlayStation and Xbox, and it does have crossplay with computer. So like, it is there. Like I'm here. This is
Oh man, yeah.
Make sure everyone's closed before you.
There's so many games. I'm gonna give you another game. Okay. Have you guys ever played The Last of Us?
Yep.
Oh man. That's another fire storyline, man. Yeah. You see, like that game like that, I can't play games like that. I don't got the patience. Like I like role-playing games. RPG.
So this is an RPG, but it's a what do they call it?
It's a semi real-time
action RPG. It's a combination of an action RPG and an RTS game, a real-time strategy game. So it's kind of turn-based like the old Final Fantasies, but then it's kind of like if you ever played Diablo. So it's kind of like that, or like or the what were the console ones? The ones that were
Dragon Quest.
No, well, sort of. I mean, yeah, it is close to Dragon. It is.
Remind me. You ever heard of a game called Gauntlet?
Yeah. Bro, I used to play Gauntlet all the time on arcade.
That looks like it. Yeah, arcade. Yeah. That's what I said. That's what I
had the dwarf and the mage and the
dwarf and the guy with the hammer. Yeah, the wizard.
Yep.
And man, those games. That was another thing.
It's like this is like that, but like just much deeper. But it's the same thing, yeah.
And that's why I mentioned it, because it gave me that feel when you put it on the screen. Yeah, man, I love gaming, man. That was another thing that kept us out of trouble. Besides sports, was video games. Nintendo. That's when Nintendo was Nintendo, man. That, bro, you have to blow on the game. No one could ever tell you
why it worked, but it worked.
Yeah.
Like there was no reason that blowing on the game should have helped it work. Yeah. But it did.
Right. It's just like when you're trying to roll snake eyes, you got to blow on the dice first.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I would say, like one of the games that I don't know why it just sticks in my mind. It was a PlayStation 2 game, I think. I want to say it may have been PlayStation 1. But it was I think it was PlayStation 2. It was an RPG called Ark the Lad. I don't know if you ever played that. It was the craziest game at the time for me, because you were playing two different characters and running their stories. Like you would get to a certain point on one, and then you would go over and it would switch. But it was like but it was like the old school Final Fantasies where you would like run around and like have random encounters happen, and you know the encounter music, and then it like zooms in on the spot where you're at. But it was like, I don't know, it was the craziest storyline, and it was like this weird half fantasy, half like futuristic apocalyptic type. I don't know how to explain it. But it was an RPG, and like for whatever reason it's always stuck in my head. I'll see if I can find something on it.
A game similar to that, but it's action RPG is Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. You play as two characters, and you have like you can either swap back and forth to complete both of their stories, or you have a certain meter that you have that drains as you play. Once they hit 0, you immediately get forced into the other character. And I think they did the same thing in Chain of Memories as well. That one's like a card-based turn game.
So last year for Christmas, I said I'm gonna just get me something for myself. Look what I buy myself. I'm still a kid at heart.
Switch.
Yeah, and mind you, I haven't touched this. I haven't touched this Switch since like February.
Yeah, I haven't touched.
Brand new. It's brand new. Just about. I played it for the first 2 months, from December to January. Zelda, because I'm a big Zelda fan too. Listen, man, this is why, man. I hope sometime down the line, man could get paid full time from doing fucking videos and on being on YouTube, man, because then I could really do what I love, and that's just do videos, talk junk about sports, football, boxing, and play video games. And that's it. Isn't that the life, guys? Wouldn't that be the life?
Yeah, I mean that's the goal for everyone, not to have to like actually work not have to work a regular job and just kind of do this, like give content to the people, and then once we're done, we get to do what we want without having to actually go anywhere.
Yeah, Arch the lad. Why I'm telling me it's gonna be like a little dwarf or somebody. Let me see. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. This is just a game that for whatever reason always stuck in my mind after I played it. Like I don't know why. Like there's a ton of other games similar to this that I've played and I don't remember. But like for whatever reason, this one just always stuck with me because it was just the way it was done at the time. It was kind of crazy.
Yeah. I've seen that before. I've never played it, but I see. All right, man. Look, that's that you know. There's so many games, man. You know that there's so many games. Let me see what I got here. Mega Man. Also, Mega Man. I'm a big fan.
I loved Mega Man as a kid.
Mega Man, bro. Oh man, as a kid, I cry. I got so many games here. Oh my god! You know this is an underrated game. I'm gonna show you. These are because I gotta give these games. I got like about 40 P3 games here. I told her this game right here is called Enslaved. It's for the P3. This game is fire. Enslaved.
I don't think I've ever seen that game.
Yeah, YouTube it. Enslaved. So right, it's like his name is Monkey. His name is Monkey. They like in a pre-apocalypse world, and bro, it's the storyline is fire. Enslaved.
What the?
Bro, the game is fire. I enjoy playing this game. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I got so many. Yeah.
Are you also a fan of like shooters like Call of Duty, Battlefield?
So I like them, but I'm not a fan of them. Like I'm not. That's not. I wouldn't play them because, like I said, these are games. Watch. Go to Kinetic. Go to gameplay for this, because this is more of like a trailer. But like, so you can see the gameplay and the story is fire, man. He has to take he's like in New York and he has to go all the way to California. The escape. Yeah, you were like in a ship. I remember, oh man, this is bringing me back memories. Yeah, the game. And you got like a stick. You got like a electronical, almost like a bat. And It's crazy, and you got these things. Nah, this game is fire, man. Like these games, like PlayStation. I'm sorry to my Xboxers. There's a lot of good games, but PlayStation takes the cake, man. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up.
Have you ever heard of a game called Conan Exiles?
Code and Exiles. No, what is?
Conan Exiles, like Conan the
Oh,
Barbarian
Conan.
Exiles.
The Conan. You know what? I remembered it, but how was that gameplay? I don't know. I didn't hear nothing about it.
I played it for a good like 2.5 months when I had a couple friends who also played on it. It was pretty fun. It's pretty much like a sandbox, open world. You just kind of create and then take on bosses and then try to collect pieces to be able to get out of the desert. You're the I guess continent. I don't know if it's like a continent or something. The slice of land that you're basically imprisoned on. It's called the
Was it
Exile Land.
For which gaming system?
I know it's for PC. I'm not entirely sure. I think it might also be on console as well. I'll have to double check that. But I know for sure it's on PC. I just don't know about console. Let me check.
Yeah, man, it's this game. You ever heard of the game Dante Inferno?
Yep, yeah. Dante's Inferno.
I platinum that. You going through all the what's that? The 7 sins of hell, gluttony, lust. That game is fire too.
Yeah,
I platinum that, man. Listen, man, I used to, man. This is my game right here.
So this is the actual like start of the game right here.
Yeah. This is how it start. You on the ship. You gotta escape. He's a gangster. It's my man Monkey.
And so this is the main character you play the whole game?
Correct. Yeah.
Conan Exiles is on PlayStation 5.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a look at it.
You should definitely check it out if you especially if you have like a ton of time with not much to do. It's definitely a really fun game to play. Most of it's just like making bases and crafting stuff, but it has a story behind it. It is actually fun.
Yeah, man. It's so many games, man. That let me see what I have here. They got Ratchet and Clank, Rayman Origins.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
The PlayStation, man. I remember, man. I used to I'll come home late night from either date, either from hanging out, and I'll be up 4 or 5 in the morning playing PlayStation because that was the best time I've been.
I mean, the thing is with gaming, like it lets you escape. It gives you something to like really focus on and challenge yourself mentally.
Yeah.
But also, like for me, it kept me out of trouble. It kept me from going out and spending money. Like, yeah, I spent money on the games, but I would have spent a whole lot more money if I didn't have something to do and I was going out trying to find stuff to get into. You know what I'm saying?
Like me, I got my start on the original NES, playing Super Mario.
Yep.
Was where I started out. Then I moved on to I went from the NES to the PlayStation 1, playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, let me ask you guys something. How did you guys meet?
So for me, I don't know how he led up to it, but I am from Michigan originally. I moved away when I was a kid. I lived in California and then Nashville, Tennessee, and I lived in Tennessee for like 20 years. And in 2017, I came back up to visit, and because my grandfather had a bad fall, and he was in the hospital, and I came up, took a leave from work down in Tennessee and came up to visit and help them out while he was in the hospital. While I was up here, found out that my niece was taking advantage of my mom who was living with her and all kinds of stuff. So I ended up deciding I was going to stay up here to help my grandmother, to help my mother. And like, so I'd been back up here for like 30 days or so. And I was like trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I decided on a whim, like that I was just going to go get my CDL. Cause like I had already been working in the music industry. I had already, driven across country hundreds of times and back. Like driving didn't faze me. So I thought, let me go ahead and drive a semi truck or something. Right. So I signed up for this class that was in Cadillac. It was like an hour away from where I live. And the first day of class, I pulled up to park. I was like 15, 20 minutes early. And I pulled up next to another car, looked over, and there was Mike. And we just started talking before class. We became friends during class. And then we both got our CDLs. He went to a national company. I went to a local company that was closer to home. And we just stayed in touch after that. And then like 30 days after we got our CDL, we were just texting, and he was real unhappy at the company he was at. I was happy at the company I was at, but I had originally planned on team driving with another guy that was at our school that went to the same company, but he didn't make the cut for the company in the little trial period with the training period. And so I talked to Mike. I was like, hey, if you're not happy there, why don't you come over here and we can team drive? And so he went through the process of putting in his notice and doing his final 30 days with that company. And what happened right before, like a week before he started at the company I was at, and I've sort of mentioned this before, but I don't know if I ever went into detail with you before, Maniac. I had a near-death experience. I had a ruptured large intestine. It got really bad. I was like this close, according to the surgeon, to septic shock. They had to go in and do an emergency surgery, and then another procedure, follow-up procedure while I was in the emergency room. I was in the hospital for like 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks before I was able to go home. And I wasn't cleared to work again for like 3 months after that. And even then, like, it was real tough for me. And during that time, Mike came over, started driving for the company, waiting for me to be able to come back. He helped me a lot during that time, even so far as to moving into an extra bedroom we had to help us keep bills paid while I was going through all of that. And when I got back to being able to work, him and I team drove together off and on for 3-4 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I moved down to Tennessee, was driving for my buddy Robbie, who owned a truck. I got him to come down to Tennessee, and we were roommates again down there. And then I moved back to Michigan. He's still in Tennessee, and we've just always been friends since. So
yeah, and I'm originally from Nevada, and I moved to Michigan when I was about 7. Been there ever since. And then I basically did like every job under the book. Started out as a janitor, went to working at McDonald's, and then went to working at a restaurant as a line cook. Then went to several factories, was an electrician for about 1.5 years. And then after I went, and then I was going to go back to the factories, and like one weekend I was just like, you know what? This monotonous work is just not for me. I'm gonna go and I think I'm gonna go try traveling. I'm gonna go be a truck driver, and that's kind of what led me to go to truck driving school. I picked it up a little bit faster than Eric did. I was basically a natural on the backing. The only part that I struggled with, ironically, is backing straight. Everything else, I like the hardest backing 90 degree. Nailed it first try.
That gotta be tough, man, to drive trucks.
I mean, once you get used to it, it's not bad.
Like it's hard to get, but once you get it, it's easy, and like everything gets easier.
I mean, the hardest part about driving is the psychological impact of being basically sectioned off from everybody that you know while you're out on the road. Like if you don't know other people out on the road and like in the areas that you go to, it's very difficult on your psyche if you're not used to being like on your own, like, you know what I mean, like not surrounded by friends and family, but like out just on your own for weeks, months at a time if you stay out that long.
Yeah.
If you, like, that's one thing that was good about me and him team driving is me and him were friends, so like we always knew somebody wherever we were going because they were always in the bunk.
Well, and being a new driver, like there were a lot of situations, like if you're out on your own, you kind of got to work through every situation on your own. Being a new driver, having him there, like if we came up to anything that we had to figure out, we could always like bounce stuff off each other. Like, what do you think we should do? We could do this, we could do that, and we could help each other. Get stuck in somewhere, and like one of us could get out and direct it instead of trying to do it yourself. So it was beneficial as a new driver to have someone there with you.
Okay, so you needed to help a lot more than I did, though.
It's safe. It's safe to say you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, well, that's good, man. Well, look, you know, we live in a time, man, that is crazy, right? And I share this with you guys, something I haven't shared with nobody else outside of the people I grew up with. A friend of mine, which I don't even consider friend, consider him a brother. We were best friends for since 6 years old. I'm 43. I'm 43 years old. Since 6 years old. And about 2 years ago, man, I let him borrow some money and it just ruined our relationship. And it's never the same. It will never be the same. And I still love him like a brother. That will never change, you know. But you know, the moral of my little story is, man, if you got someone, man, like that, like you guys have each other, just be solid with each other, man. Just keep it real. Don't lie. You know, if you need something, say, look, you're gonna borrow something, say, look, I might not be able to pay this back. Like, be transparent. Don't lie. Cause that,
Right.
you know, that shit, it ruins friendships, man. And it
Right.
really hurts me even talking about it right now because, you know, like my son is 15 and looks at him like an uncle. Doesn't look at him like, oh, that's my father's friend. And my father sees him as another son, and my mother sees him as a son, and my brothers look at him like a brother, and my sisters like that's a brother. But you know, he did why he did, you know, and
Right.
it sucks. But you know, it's lessons learned. No
Right.
matter how old are you, how old you are, you can always, you know, there's always lessons to be learned in life. And you know, it is what it is. We, you know, shit moves on, man. You know, I got a family. I have 3 kids in total. My son lives in Georgia. He's 15. I got a 4-year-old daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter. And you know, I do this and everything else for my family. Whatever my wife wants, you know what I'm saying? If I could get it, I get it for her. We travel. When we travel, do whatever for my kids, man. You know, it's about them. You know, because that's what you have at the end of the day, family, man. And you know, there's certain friends, man, that are family that we might call friends, but they family. So it touched me, man. You know, you guys saying your story, and he moved here, and then I moved there. Like, you don't do that for anybody, you know.
Right.
You know, that's love right there, man. And I like to hear that, man. It really does. It does warm my soul, man. So hopefully you guys will always be like this, and it's always love.
Yeah. So like when I was going through the stuff post surgery, like I had to have a follow up surgery because they had to do a temporary colostomy, so I had to have that bag on my stomach, right? And
Mhm.
like that was the first time I ever dealt with like real depression because like I felt like I wasn't even worthy of going out and being in public because of that, right? And like he helped me get out of that because he was he I it was he was like encouraged me to go with him to like a game store, a card gaming store in Cadillac, and just be around people because like I thought like nobody's gonna want me around, right? Like, and he helped me get out of that really tough time in my life. So like I've always felt like a loyalty and like 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 a debt that I don't think I'll ever be able to pay back because mentally that was the first time I ever considered suicide. And when a lot of people that I had thought were friends prior to me moving back to Michigan, like only a handful, like 2 or 3 even reached out the whole time, including family. And Mike was who had only known me a few months at the time, stepped up in a way that none of them did. So that's always been something I feel like there's a debt there that I won't be able to repay.
Yeah, wow. And you know, shout to you, Lynch, man. That's some real shit right there, man. Because you didn't have to do that, but you know, you did it because I'm gonna assume that you know you liked him and you cared for him. Like, man, nah, this is my friend, man. And sometimes, you know, we it's funny, right? Because you could meet people like that the way I did, and like you said, like, damn, this guy was there for me when family wasn't. You know, like people that have the same blood flowing through our veins weren't even there. So I respect it, man. I like that, man. That's some real shit, Lynch. And you know, that's what it is. And I'm pretty sure he didn't do it because he wants you owe him something. You know, he did it of the kindness of his heart, man. That's who he is as a person. And that's what I'm saying. That's something you cannot take for granted. You know, and I know you don't, Kinetic. So, you know, man, continue to be great friends, man. Continue to build. I mean, we all family here, man. You know, we all on the same page. We all just, you know, just trying to grow and do what we love, man. Talk sports and play games. Play games.
So I guess before we get out of here, I've asked the other guests this, and I want to ask you this: if you had, what would be one piece of advice that you would want to give the community?
My advice to give to the community, man, is just keep it real, man. Be real. Just be real. That's it. Be real with yourself and be real with others. You know, that's that, man. I think when you real, Lynch and Kinetic, whether people like it or not, they respect it. And that means everything. Once you respect it, that means everything.
Absolutely.
So the one thing I want to ask you before we get out of here, give us your prediction for tomorrow.
Shit. All right. No. Good. Look, man, this is a huge game for Michigan. No one can deny it, right? We know I love what I saw last week. By it, there was, you know, little things here and there that I know we could work on, but we're playing a much better opponent. And then on the road. Why us? Our second opponent on the road undefeated. And what's crazy is our third opponent on the road might be undefeated when we play them, and that's USC. So it's just crazy. But Michigan, look, man, Michigan has to be Michigan. And what's that? Control clock, run the ball, and you know, use Bryce as much as we could. We don't have to use him as much, even better. But if he needs to make plays with his legs, so do it. But I really want to see two things in this game. I want to see a receiver breakout. I want to see McCulley have a breakout game. And two, I want to see the defense dominate a good team now from beginning to end. Now, by it, they're going to give up points. That's fine. But I think if we hold them to 17, under 17, we win this game. I think if it's in the 20s, mid 20s, it could get spooky. But I think Michigan gets it done, but it's gonna be a close game. I'm going like 2017 Michigan.
I'm sorry.
I think that we need to, like, one thing, I think I agree with everything that you said, although I think one thing we definitely need to make sure we do against Nebraska, because they are a good team, we need to establish that Bryce can make plays on the ground and in the air. That way we have all other future teams ahead coming up worried about that possibility. I think that's one thing we need to establish, is the fact that Bryce can make plays regardless of how he does it. He can get it done. But my score prediction for Michigan is 27-21.
All right.
So I think that first of all, I agree with you with wanting to see a big game out of McCulley. I want to see. So last week on this show, Litch Max asked me what I wanted to see from last week's game, and I thought I was just sort of being wishful thinking here. You can go back and listen to it. I said I want to see them come out and tell Bryce, we're going to call the plays, and we want you to play smart, but just go out there and play ball. Show us what you can do and give us a reason to trust you. Show us that we can trust your instincts on the field. I feel like they kind of did that. You know?
No, they did. Biff confirmed he did do that. And
the two critiques that I have for Bryce, first of all, if you're going to run, I need you to slide.
Yeah.
Stop lowering your shoulder. You're not Mike Allstott. That's your throwing shoulder. Don't do that. The other thing, why are you throwing those deep balls way too high in the air into double coverage, and it's not in the end zone? It's not like you're throwing a jump ball in the end zone. it's double coverage. Don't do that. But outside of those two things, he exceeded every expectation. And the fact that the coaching staff did take the shackles off and said, hey, go play ball. Like, I hope that they saw that that is the formula. You know what I'm saying? And that we got to do that, and we got to coach him to be smart and help him figure out how we can do things better, but let him play ball and ride through the ups and downs with him as a true freshman. I think it's going to be a tough, close game, but I think over the course of the game, I think Nebraska's defense is too undersized compared to Michigan's athletes to sustain equal play over the course of the game. And so I do think it's a close game, but I think if everyone plays the way they're supposed to and does what they're supposed to, I think that Michigan does pull away a little bit at the end. I'm going to say I think we get a score something like 29-17 or something like that. I think it's going to be real close until the end, and I think we're going to sort of pull away that last, 3/4 of a quarter to a quarter and a half of the game. One thing I want to see a lot more of, just make Jayshawn Barham your edge, a permanent edge. just he wanted to play edge at the end of last season. He could have went pro. He was advised that if he goes to the NFL, they're going to look at him like an edge, like a Micah Parsons style player. And he came back because they said they would give him some time at edge, and then they kind of backed off on it. But listen, I like TJ Guy. I like Derek Moore. I said it. You remember I said it this summer. I didn't think Derek Moore was that great of a pass rusher. To me, he was more of an edge setter, more of that guy that sort of corrals the guy into the sack. He's not the guy that gets the sack. And we, to this point, we have not been able to get consistent pressure with rushing forward. So bring Barham down into a 5-man front and let him play a permanent edge position. You already say that you got 3 starters at linebacker anyway, and Jimmy Rolder has stepped up and played great every time he's been out there. So let him be the starter back there off ball with Ernest Hausman, and just let Barham do what he does best, and that's rush the passer. And and get in the backfield and create havoc. He's the best athlete we have on the defense. Let him be an athlete.
And you know what's great about that is, like, every time that you see him line up at edge, it's always instant pressure or a sack every single time.
Well, it's not just pass rush. He was getting tackles on the running backs in the backfield.
Yeah.
Like, let him play in the backfield.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree, man. Look, it's going to be interesting, man. It's either going to be a good day for Michigan fans or a sad day. To have 2 losses in the month of September kind of basically derails your dreams for anything. So, I mean, technically it still doesn't end the season, but you just don't feel good. And so I don't care how we get it done tomorrow. Let's get it done. We go 3-1. We go into our bye. Other guys who are injured rest up, and then we come home to Wisconsin. That's a game we're gonna win. They have no offense. Offensively, they suck. So we'll see, man. There's a lot of also. You got Indiana, Illinois tomorrow. You have Auburn, Oklahoma tomorrow. So
give us your sleeper game outside of the Michigan game. What game do you think that is kind of under the radar to be a great game?
Indiana, Illinois.
You think so?
And which one do you think is going to be the biggest upset?
And shit. I know this shit. Listen, man, I'm going to get a lot of, even though I don't think it's going to happen, but what I think will be the biggest upset, and we don't know, Michigan State over USC.
No way. Do you really think they're going to be?
No, I don't. No. I don't. But I want to see. I think I know Michigan State is a middle of the pack Big Ten team, although they undefeated. But I think they are playing with a confidence. I think USC beats them by 14. But But if you're talking about me realistically, man, it'd be Auburn over Oklahoma.
Oh, absolutely. The revenge of Jackson Arnold. That would be an amazing thing.
Yeah, that'd be a game. That's no gimme for Oklahoma, man.
Right.
They're going to have to go in there. and get busy.
Yeah, a lot of the fans are writing off Auburn already because they have Jackson Arnold and they know what he's about. But I think they're really underestimating the fact that every time a quarterback leaves Oklahoma, he does better.
I'll tell you, I think that
they have a rich history of quarterback. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, and then that's after Jalen Hurts is when it went.
Yeah,
it went down.
I think a game that's kind of a sleeper tomorrow.
Caleb Williams was there for a little while. Spencer Rattler.
I'm still saying Caleb Williams is a bust. I've said that since before the draft. I'm still saying.
But we'll see. He's been in the league 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Ranked Missouri taking on unranked South Carolina. I think you see South Carolina bounce back from their loss last week, and I think they're going to.
Well, is the quarterback going to be playing?
As far as I knew he was, but is he still out?
He left the game. He left the game last week against Vanderbilt. So I think that kind of threw him off. Sellers.
Well, I mean, Vandy was laying the lumber down on him.
According to Google, he has been cleared to start after recovering from a concussion sustained in the previous game and has returned to practice, indicating he is ready for the game.
Yeah, I think I like that one. Kinetic. If Sellers is gonna play as they saying he is, I could see that. I could see them beating the Tigers. So yeah, man. Look, I'm about to watch Rutgers, Iowa. I can imagine what that score is right now. It's like 3-3 maybe.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get out of here. What do you got? What do you got for the people? Where can they find you? What do you got going on?
Yes, sir. You see me there. GoBlue_Maniac_24 on Instagram. That'll lead you to all my other social media outlets. Follow me on YouTube. I'm trying to build that channel there. And if you always want to talk boxing, you can reach out to me. It's your boy, the Maniac. And I want to thank my brother Lynch Max and Kinetic for having me on the show. Also follow my brothers here, man. They get in the kitchen. We put them aprons on. Stop playing with us. And we out.
Yeah. We still got Kinetic.
Oh, I don't know how I can follow that, man. Like he's like an expert at this.
All right.
I was good with just getting out of here. But as always, everywhere on social media at Kinetic615, on YouTube at Kinetic615 for sports, Kinetic615 plays for gaming. Check out the GoFundMe link in the description, and then right here on the Gamer Sideline. And keep an eye out for the Gamer Sideline and Kinetic615. I may still do some watch-alongs this weekend for the Michigan game, for the Vikings game. Just keep an eye out for it. I haven't for sure locked it down, but I probably will.
All right, and you know where to find me, LichMax626 on Twitch, X, and here on the Gamer Sideline, also on YouTube. And over at the Maize Mad Man channel as the producer for Maize Out Mondays and for Lich Picks on Maize Out Monday. So if you have not yet, head over there, check that out. Make sure you are subscribed over here to not miss a thing that we have coming up. We got some exciting things coming up. Football Fridays every Friday, and we have other shows that we may do throughout the week. So make sure you keep an eye on the channel, and always remember to cheer loud, play hard, and check us out next time on The Sideline.
From joystick dreams to Friday night lights, it's controllers and cleats under podcast mics with Life Max dropping deep like he's throwing a bomb, and Kinetic calling audible, staying calm in the storm. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetic and Leash Max, never miss a beat. When the final whistle blows or the credits roll, we're signing off strong, that's how gamers take control. Catch us on the sideline, where legends chill, where the playbooks flip and the passion's real. If you heard the takes, then you know the drill. Till next time, fam, keep it clutch, keep it skill. From the field to the sticks, yeah, we bring the heat. With Kinetic and Lich Max, never miss a beat. When the headset's off and the lights go low, we'll be back next game, y'all already know. We out.